folks, welcome back. We're at Watkins Glen. This is Widdowmaker Racing. It's the Gr4 Racing League, and we come to round 3 here at the short course at Watkins Glen. The league standings are about to be presented after round 2, where we have a tight battle. Lots of tied places. In P1, BB and NW 555 on 36 points. Big Marsh and Roger tied in 3rd place for 29. Widdowmakers on his own in 5th on 28, closely behind. Big Popper on 26 points in P6. Deadly on 20 in P7 with JB, who's had a couple of weeks out on 17 points. Winner we haven't seen for a couple of weeks due to personal obligations, and Az is just returning back to the league after a couple of weeks off fishing in P10. It's all to play for here with this and 3 more rounds after this to go. Watkins Glen has been tried here. We've tested it. It was one of the test rounds. And here are some of the general regulations. You can only use a Gr4 car. It has to be the same car all season. You're free to change the livery as and when you want, but just keep it real. The grid is reversed from quali, and you must use all 3 tyre types in the race. We've only had one failing in that. Here's the qualifying positions. Deadly Backlight will go off the grid in 1st with a well, we would like to. Az in 2nd, Big Marsh in 3rd, JB in 4th, Widdowmaker 5th, BB rolled up in 6th, NW with a 1:13.697 puts himself 7 on the grid, and Big Pop with a tremendous 1:13.669. Unfortunately, Roger had a technical issue with his wheel and was unable to take the grid as we started through qualifying. So with that being the case, let's introduce the racers. Here's Big Marsh. He hails from Canada and he's our only controller racer, racing in the 4C. He set a lap time of 1:14.803. Unfortunately, the grid's a bit messed up. We'll explain why. Az in position 10 in the championship. He's a local fisherman, likes to spend his time fishing, and unfortunately it's that time of year where fishing and racing clash. He set a 1:14.807. In 7th in the championship, here's Deadly Backlight. Slowly getting used to the game. He's only been with it a couple of months and he's starting to create his own skins. And this one I really like. He set a 1:15.966, going 3rd off the grid. Widdowmaker in 4th, championship position 5. He is your host today. It's me talking. And we have a new skin today produced by GTP Addictions. That'll be JB. Widdowmaker set a 1:14.596 in qualifying. And here he is, the man himself, JB, just returning after a period of injury. He's got some shoulder damage from a previous accident, but it's just sort of hampered his steering. So let's hope he gets back into it today. A 1:14.684 put him actually 4th on the grid. We've had a bit of a swap around, but again, we'll explain that. Here's BB, championship position as was stated. Our Dutch, well, not our only Dutch racer, but he set a 1:13.912. Roger, championship position 3rd, equal. Again, hails from Brazil. He's a company owner. He's got his own private company, involved in flooring, etc. Did not set a time, but he's a very good little house builder. He's a family man. And NW, unfortunately, this is going to be his last week. He's both very heavily into his own job, but he's also got a family to think about and going on holidays. So he's off overseas for some holidays, and much deserved. He actually qualified there with a 1:13. And Big Popper, the other person with a 1:13 on the grid, absolutely out of nowhere. And I'm not going to say it was a surprise, but I think he surprised himself, as you can see from the text. A 1:13.669 took him to the grid. So as we come round to the end of lap 1, these are the positions that I've just announced to you. And the reason why we had an issue is we had to get Roger back into the race. We couldn't be excluding because his wheel failed. So we had a bit of a mix-up of the grid. Not everybody got back into the right position, but everybody agreed before we started where we would be. So Big Marsh rolled off the start line in 1st place, Az in 2nd, Deadly 3rd. 4th is Widdowmaker, JB 5th. JB should have been 4th actually, but we missed that. BB in 6th. Roger in 7th and NW8. So we kind of turned it round, but people shuffled around and got some sort of position. And you can see there Widdowmaker making the charge up to the bus stop, taking Deadly on the outside. Deadly's going to keep the foot in though, and he does, and he keeps Widdowmaker off the line. Good bit of defensive driving there. Down on pace is Deadly today, it seems. Jaws bottlenecking behind. Everybody keeps line astern. A little bit of respect on the outlap, but Widdowmaker goes for it again. He's trying to suck up the tail of Deadly backlight and also trying to keep JB in the position behind. Widdowmaker now looks like he's about to line up for that pass going into turn one, and they're all queuing up behind. As we explained earlier, everybody has to use all tyre types, and it looks like everybody started the grid in hard tyres, as Widdowmaker takes up third place, JB into fourth, Deadly just moving backwards now. That early pace just not holding it together. In previous races he's been able to hang it out in front, but this track is so much longer than all the others, and you arrive at the corners much quicker on this track. JB making the move to the inside of Widdowmaker. Widdowmaker tries to hold it outside, a little bit of door-to-pole contact as Roger comes up behind JB, bumps him once, bumps him twice, bumps him a third time, bumps him a fourth time. Whilst it's a little bit aggressive, he's made his way past without causing incident. You would have to question though whether that was either gentlemanly or just the racer in him. We know he's a very keen racer, he's going to make his way to the front. Having only been around Gt7 for 3 or 4 months, he really is coming strong as Widdowmaker makes his way across the white lines. Is he going to pick up a penalty? Yes, he does. So he's going to have to relinquish that place as we flick back to the front to see Big Marsh. So this is lap 4, fastest lap of the race. 6 with Big Marsh on 1:16.295. Widdowmaker be kicking himself now, but the good thing about this circuit is if he caused that time penalty somewhere in the early part of the race, early part of the lap, you do get to spend it before you come round and take the finish line again, so you've not got that hanging over you. Big Marsh in first, as in second, Widow in third, which we know he's going to lose that place. Roger in fourth, JB in fifth, NW in sixth, Deadly backlight in 7 and BB in 8, having snuck a penalty early in the race. And in 9th, we're going to see him soon, will be Big Popper. He is out there, we just haven't seen him yet. There's Roger in third, JB in fourth. NW comes round and hits that wall. Does he survive the penalty? Widdowmaker's dropped down to 5th place now from 3rd, so he lost 2 places through that penalty. Turn 1 on lap 5. NW's skin is a tribute to the good old days of Thunder days, if you remember that film from way back in the day. NW dedicated each race to having a new skin. Last week it was Italy, this week America. We fly over NW's shoulder going into the bus stop, one of the fastest chicanes on the circuit. By the circuit I mean the series. It was a close call whether we went to the Gardens to see if we could use the old bus stop there, the death chicane. It was thought too dangerous for this level of racing. We wanted open wheel-to-wheel stuff where there could be a little bit of argy-bargy and no wall slams that would just write off the race. So early days, everybody's just settling in. Fastest lap of the race now with BB at 1:15.927 and just immediately trumped by Roger with a 1:15.302. Everybody on hard tyres it seems, which will definitely include, and Widdowmaker picks up another penalty, this time 2.5 seconds, and it looks like BB ran wide there but manages to get away with it. No, he doesn't. A 1.5 second applied. What we're going to see this a lot of today, folks. This track has the most, not uncertain, boundary lines, but as you can tell, that lots of boundary lines. So, leading out the race, Big Marsh in first on lap 6, as in lap is second on lap 6, Roger in third, JB in fourth, NW in fifth, BB sixth, and Widdowmaker seventh, Deadly Backlight in eighth. And it looks like we still haven't seen him yet. Our fastest lap of the day, man, Mr. Big Popper. He's trundling his way round at the back, definitely. What's actually happened is, as we restart the race, he actually fell off the back a little bit and wasn't able to get back to the pack immediately. So as we went through the start-finish line, he was just lagging behind a little bit, but he's got it in him to catch up. Roger really pushing hard, just setting another fastest lap at 1:15.257. And there's Big Popper, we can see him now coming past Deadly Backlight. He's now ahead of Widdowmaker, Widdowmaker having served his 2.5 second penalty. And I think Deadly's just picked up a penalty. Oh, if he couldn't be having a worse day. Big Popper looked like he ran wide. There he is, I think he's still in shock after setting his fastest lap in quali. But he's getting it together now. BB's picked up another penalty as he came through turn 1, it looked like. Big Popper already putting in the blue sectors as he comes through the chicane. A nice clean line, just 2 tyres on the curves. Probably not the fastest, but it's the smoothest we've seen today. And it's only fair he gets some screen time out after missing out over the first 6 laps. There's BB having served his penalty. Big Popper and Widdowmaker take the opportunity to pass. This is one of the biggest areas where people get a penalty there. It's very easy to overspeed that corner and then to cut that corner. What we don't run is the pit lane speed penalties, the line penalties. This is one of those circuits where there's a default bug and you can get attributed a 3-second penalty as you leave the pits. So back to review. Big Marsh at the front. We're on lap 8. Ads in second, holding steady. Roger in third, now catching up with the leaders. NW in fourth, JB in fifth, Big Popper sixth, Widdowmaker 7, having lost 2 places from the start. BB in 8th and Deadly in 9th. And that little Porsche really moving. JB now harassing NW. And he runs wide. He's certainly going to pick up a penalty there. As we said a moment ago, it's going to be commonplace that penalties pick up. But not too bad there, only a second. It's just a throttle lift in reality. Roger's now made his way past Az. Still holds the fastest lap of 1:15.257. It's a very quick circuit here. Roughly 2.5 miles. Covered in 1 minute 15 seconds on average. It's going to produce a race of around 45-46. Oh, and Az really starts to get the tail out as he comes through there and picks up a 4-second penalty. He thought he managed to avoid that by getting the back end out and bringing it round in time, but that's unfortunate. That's definitely going to drop him a place. So let's talk tyres. What have we got? If everybody on hards, there's the opportunity that people are going to be able to run potentially up to 15-16 laps without a significant amount of wear. What we've got to understand is who's going to take the opportunity to go to the pits first. As Big Marsh moves over to the wall to try and break the toe from Roger, he knows Roger's quick, so he's got to do everything he can to try and give him that advantage to get away. As we said through the intros, Big Marsh is a controller user. Every other racer here is actually wheel user. Just look how quick he is. You don't see the usual telltale left, right, nudge left, nudge right. He's very smooth on the controller. As Roger makes his way up the inside, gets his nose in, Big Marsh gives him a tap on the door to let him know he's there, and he backs out and lets Roger take the lead. So that's Roger up to the lead. And now we're running into the first pit stop. We've got to see who's what. Az is about to spend his 4-second penalty. That's going to drop him back into the range of JB, one would expect. There's JB just rounding the corner, having fell away from a couple of places with that penalty. NW now sitting well in third, looking good for the rest of the race. As Big Marsh takes to the pits. He's on hards and half a tank of gas. Let's see what he takes. He shouldn't need to take much fuel if he's going to do hards. That's a simple stop, no fuel. He's taking fuel. He drops down to 6th as he moves away, down to 7th. See BB in the distance there as Deadly backlight comes to pass him, so Deadly moves up from 9th to 8th as Big Marsh now drops to the back. The expectation is with this early pit stop is to be able to run a shorter lap but get the best out of the tyres, and then automatically you're starting to gain because everybody else has got a pit and they'll be on wearing tyres, you're on newer tyres. Deadly centre. Real slicing line through there. Had to brake a little bit hard in the centre, but he actually got through okay. As Big Marsh comes round a long sweeping outside corner, Deadly comes through, cleans out all the cones. He promises to do that every race. Never fails. So Big Marsh now on with the plan. He's going to run longer laps. JB runs into the pits, 41% fuel on hard tyres. What's he going to go on to? Is he going to run another set of hards? We'll see it in a moment. What's he going to come on to? He's fell down to last place now. Didn't take any fuel, so that would sort of indicate he's gone to softs. So he's looking to make a quick sprint. So as a difference to Big Marsh, what JB's going to try and do here is run in a short sprint of as many laps as possible and then get back onto the hards or mediums and try and run as long a stint as possible, trying a different variation of the early stop. So back at the front, Roger leads out. NW is second, Az maintaining his place in third, pushing that Porsche long and hard. Big Popper, another small penalty to scrub off as he goes around the next corner, but he's made his way from 9th place up to 4th. That's a tremendous little drive. Widdowmaker in 5th, having suffered triple penalties at this point. All little frustrations as Big Popper spent his penalty. BB coming through again, having suffered 2, maybe 3 penalties at this time. I haven't got a record of all of them, but they're definitely there. Let's see if I can find it in the notes. He's only had 2 penalties so far, totaling 4.5 seconds. As we get back to Marsh, who's just got a penalty which will frustrate his early stop plans. As JB starts to line up Deadly. Roger coming into the bus stop, absolutely flying into there with Neil in close accord. Very smart matching pair of Ferrari 458s. Az in third, pushing that little Porsche hard, keeping his foot in. Big Popper made his way up to 4th. Putting in some 116s. Last couple of laps just letting himself down, I think he'd say, with 117s and 18s. Widdowmaker running consistent 117 meet averages. Just starting to get a grip now and catching back up to Big Popper. BB doing the same, keeping the pressure on. And in the back there's Big Marsh having just spent his penalty. There he goes. This pack look like they're going to have quite a close mid-battle. Looks like this could go a long way. Oh, and there's Big Marsh again, having just spent a penalty. He's going to get another. There it is, another penalty to frustrate his day. But this gives JB another opportunity. He sees that penalty as he's behind him, and that gives him enough drive to keep pushing. As again we pick up Roger coming through the bus stop. NW in close pursuit. It actually looks like they're actually NW is actually catching. He's managing to hold that gap as he's falling away terrifically. You can just see his tyres by those times are just starting to lose a scrub a bit. Big Popper's back on the game though, dropped them 118s back to 116s. And BB's got the hammer down trying to chase down Widdowmaker. Fastest lap of the race currently sits with Roger at a 1:15.257. We're into the pit window now for the hard tyres. As NW dives into the pit, 75% fuel used. As confirmed, he's on hard tyres to start the race. Let's see what happens. Az goes through, as does Roger. Widdowmaker's in the pits, BB's in the pits. 15 laps. Widdowmaker is used. He's got 23% left. BB's used slightly more on 21. NW hadn't quite used so much. He'd used 25. They had 25% left. The Hurricane's away first. Widdowmaker's out second. Deadly Backlight pulls into the pits on 9%, so he'd used significantly more fuel and another penalty as he came into the pit lane. Here we go, here's the pit exit. You'll see it for the first time this time. See how BB exits back into the track, immediately takes up the racing line, charges up the hill. Widdowmaker in pursuit. Believe it or not, we're on to lap 16 now. And we go on board with JB. He's just set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:14.636. Let's pick him up in car on the following lap. This is actually live, so this is part of the race. He's in 5th place following NW. You can see NW going up the hill in that Lumo green car. Will he change gear up to 6th before the bus stop? You don't get to see many cars now with the gear stick. With the shifter, normally they're flappy paddles. He changes down to 4th as he goes into the bus stop at first complex. He rides the curbs, he comes out in 4th. Eases the car through. You can see that right foot pressing down on the throttle as he leaves the corner. You see the cones and the signs in the track where Deadly hit those cones and signs. We're waiting on the officials to find a moment to clear those out the racing line. Comes around the final corner. We saw a second purple sector there. Can he beat that 1:14.636? Yes, he can. A 1:14.241 to improve on that fastest lap so far. And as that happens, Roger was in the pits and comes out as JB's. That was fastest 2 laps, really helping his case and getting him up there into first place, having already pitted. So that's an undercut working beautifully well. Those soft tyres really helping JB get back to where he needs to be. He's into 3rd place. Admittedly, he's going to have to pit again, but his next stop will be to take his 3rd set of tyres, and he can then run 3 tyres, whatever he likes, to the end of the race, because he's done them all. So Az picks up 1st place at this point, having been the only player not to pit at this time. that's 17 laps for Az on a set of hards. Let's just take a look at his time. You can see he had to serve that penalty, putting a 1:21 in. Did a similar lap time on lap 10, so back into it there, a 1:17.834. What you'll have to excuse, folks, is the timing on the right has got errors. You can see duplicated laps. So that 1:21.095 was back in lap 10. He actually ran a we can't see lap 16 at this point, but his last lap was 17 lap with a 1:17.8. So he's doing pretty well at the front. If he just keeps his toe in, picks the right time to change tyres, he can capitalise on this. If we had the times to the people behind, we'd be able to calculate what it takes. It is a long pit lane here on the exit. It's very quick to get into your pit box, but it's where the exit is the problem. We can see NW in the background there chasing on. NW pitted early at this point. He's now making his way back to the front. Actually seemed to make sense to pit earlier, as is going on to lap 19, and it looks like the gap is closing visibly. A 1:18, not too bad considering there was 16, a 1:21.598, so it was a slower lap. That was the lap with 4-second penalties added. JB there in third really made his way back after that early pit stop. Those softs doing him wonderful stuff. Able to put that pair of laps together, really helped his race in this position. I was really pleased for Az to be up there at the front of the race, got his name on a couple of laps now for first place. Let's hope he can hang it together and get that car back to the pits and get those tyres changed and not to lose too much. Oh, it looks like he's just lost it a little bit. Trying to get out of the way of NW is the much faster car. He's a gentleman, is Az, and he will clear out the way. It just looks like there's a bit of lost communication, and it also looks like the marshals got back and replaced those cones. Well done, Marshall team. There's the people behind. You can see Roger and Big Marsh coming quickly down that straight. Az just picks up a penalty, unfortunately, and goes to the pits. So does JB. Pulling in together there to take his pit stops. As for his first stop, as Roger comes through now to pick up second place. NW in first, capitalising after that undercut first stop. The advantages with NW now. NW went from hards to mediums, so he'll be moving quite quickly. Roger, I'm just looking down my notes, also went from hards to mediums. Here's Az exiting the pits as he comes alongside Widdowmaker. Will he get it? No, Widdowmaker gets his nose ahead. Big Popper, starting to see him now appearing. He's at his pit stop. Just dropping down to the back of the pack again, having made all that ground to get himself somewhere near to the front. It's just unfortunate that pit stop brings that about. But he is putting in blue sector time, so he's not slow. Oh, and Az left the circuit again, but on his new tyres. That's uncharacteristic. JB back in 8th, and Deadly pushing up the back numbers with a further 2.5 second penalty. So back at the front, NW starting to stretch his lead, having put in very nearly a fastest lap, a 1:14.358 for his personal best at this point. Let's hang with him. Roger in second, a 1:14.376. So the times are starting to tumble, and those guys are both on mediums. Here's Big Marsh on a 1:15.469. I think he went hards to mediums as well. Widdowmaker on 5th, he went hards to hards. And Big Popper just looking for his, he went hards to mediums. His pit stop was on lap 17, which we somehow managed to miss. He's also got his four-way flasher. No, he's indicating left. Interesting. Big American cars like to turn left, but that's a Japanese one. So lap 21. We're coming up somewhere to halfway through the race. We've had two guys pitted twice, I believe. JB and Big Marsh. No, JB. And Ans. No, JB is just the only guy who's pitted twice at this point in time. There's Big Popper popping in the consistent 115s now. Really starting to apply the pressure to Widdowmaker. What it looks like though is he just doesn't have the juice to get past. He gets into the draft, but Widdowmaker's a slippery eel and he's able to just push along, where Big Marsh there, the back end kicked out, and I think he just lost the line. But he's in the slipstream now, charging up. Oh, misses the Widdowmaker, touches the brakes. Big Popper taps him on the bum. Widdowmaker comes through, haven't kept it tidy. Big Popper sliding into the corner. Surely he's going to be able to make the pass this time round. Let's watch him go. No penalties involved. Here he is, he's got the toe. Let's watch him make the inside line. He's going to go for it. He doesn't. He stays in line. Just looking to benefit from the draft. Maybe saving fuel. Not wanting to punish his tyres. With that, he just drops it back a little bit because he'll be losing downforce through the corners. But they come through. A 1:16.016, pretty consistent timing, but it looks like Widdowmaker's holding him up, albeit for Big Popper not able to make the pass because he hasn't got the speed. Back in 7th, as now flying after his pit stop, having recovered from that little off. JB behind him. Deadly backlight now, getting flags from... He's actually been passed, I believe. He's actually been lapped now. Both NW and Roger are ahead of him, and Big Marsh is just behind him. So just through the pit stop process, Big Marsh got lapped. Widdowmaker and Big Popper still trying to battle it out. Big Popper not actually getting in a position to make that pass just yet. To complete lap 23. BB up to 4th now. Haven't seen him in a couple of laps. Big Marsh in 3rd. Still chasing down the Deadly. Lap 24 approaching the bus stop. He's going to pick up the slipstream from Deadly here. Roger in 2nd, chasing round NW. Can see each other in the same window now. Gives Roger something to chase. He can see it in front of him. Here's Big Marsh coming round, and he picks up a penalty from his entry to the bus stop. That's another unfortunate incident for Big Marsh, for NW, for Big Marsh. Just looking down his list of penalties so far. What are we? Lap 24. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 penalties it looks like. So NW goes to the pits, relinquishing first place to Roger. Roger goes on to take that. Big Marsh moves up to 2nd place. NW was down to 6% on fuel and he was on mediums. What's he going to pick up now? He's on to 50% and softs. So NW will have taken his hards, his mediums and his softs. This is lap 25, so he'll now be looking at one more stop to the finish, whichever sort of tyres he wants to take. BB in 3rd, let's just discuss that. Big Marsh coming round. He's got to spend that penalty yet. He's looking a bit raggedy through there. Still not managing to pass Deadly. So if NW's expecting to take between 6 and 8 laps, you'd expect him to be pitting around lap 33, giving himself 13 laps to finish the race, if we're talking 46. So he's going to need to possibly take mediums if he's going to stretch the mediums to finish, or hards to make it an easier finish. Yeah, his choice is there. Wonder what he will take. That battle still rages in the midfield. There they are, 5th, 6th and 7th, all for it. Widdowmaker still running a roadblock for Big Papa. Really frustrating him probably. Really probably getting under his belt a little bit, with Az now having caught up. Widdowmaker trying to run his tyres. He knows he's on hards, so he's run hards and then hards on this sector. So he's got to push those tyres. He's got no idea what anybody else has taken. BB now pits on 2%, dropping out of 4th place, which promotes Widdowmaker to 4th, Big Popper up to 5th and Az up to 6th. Widdow's probably got another 4 laps, I would say, until he's going to pit. Let's see what happens. Oh, Big Popper looks to make the move up the outside this time, but he lifts and Widdowmaker cuts across in front of him. Let's see what happens here. Is Widdowmaker going to try and break the draft? No. Big Popper taps his back end and there's yellow flags ahead. Reports are there's been an incident. It's an off. It looks like Deadly's gone off, run wide and crashed into the barrier, and it looks like that car's not going to move anymore. That looks like a retirement. We haven't got footage of this. This is just relayed from the CCTV footage, but we can't see it. No. And he climbs out of the car. It looks like a retirement for Deadly. Unfortunate for him, he's been plagued with incident all day, just not been on the pace. Let's hope he can come back next time. So Widdowmaker cuts that apex. Did he cut it too tight? Az goes to the pits. Widdowmaker avoided a penalty there. Rogers also pitted on the medium tyres to 64%. Here he comes out the pit lane now. He's in front of Widdowmaker, so a good little stop. Az came off softs there. That's how he was able to catch up quite quickly. And in the background now, JB. So Roger makes his way out the pit lane, having only dropped to 3rd place. NW is 2nd, and we have a new leader. It's Big Marsh. Big Marsh has taken up the mantle of 1st place. Missed the penalties, but he's going to keep on pushing. Let's see what his strategy is. He's pitted on lap 10. And he took on a set. He was on hards, he's gone to mediums. He obviously didn't like the hards that much to change after 10 laps. And he's going to put on a significant amount of laps. He's probably put 17 laps into those medium tyres. And he's pitting now. So let's just get a confirmation. He was on medium tyres for 17 laps. That's stunning. Oh, who can make the tyres last that long? So we just dropped down the back of the field to BB, who's dropped down right down to 8th place from 4th, just in the rounds of pits. But he picks up a place coming past Az. Is Az on the exit of the pit lane? No, he isn't, not yet. He's still taking fuel. Looks an incredibly fast car, that. So just looking at BB's pits, he's taken hards, pitted on 15, and he's just pitted for a set of softs on lap 26. So that's why he's dropped down. And look at that time, purple sector. NW's actually put in a faster time at 1:14.203. We didn't see that happen. Big Marsh has now pitted. He's gone in on those mediums. NW takes back up to 1st place, and that's helped with that fastest lap. But here he is, BB coming round to beat that. It looks like he's well on, he's 3/10 up. This could be the first sub 14 for a 13. Big Marsh still in the pits, taking on a full tank of gas. And there it is, a 1:13.828. That's the fastest lap of the race so far. And we go in car, live in the race. This is as it happens, folks. NW in first, Roger in second, Widdowmaker made his way up to third place, Big Popper in fourth, JB in fifth, on board with BB in sixth place, behind him is Big Marsh in seventh, now just come out of the pits, and Az in eighth. Just see this unusual angle as we come up to the bus stop, giving you some sort of sense of speed as we come into the first apex, second apex, fourth gear, back on the gas, third, then the fourth apex, and diving into this banked corner all the way right, fourth gear, just off the throttle, then back on it, power out the corner. You can see those cones spread wide on the left hand side of the come through penalty line. You can see third, fourth and fifth in front of him as he came down the straight in his purple sector on the second timer. This double change down to fourth gear into the final corner, keeps it in fourth, lifts off the throttle, on the brakes, back on the gas, runs it out wide, almost hits the wall but keeps it tight. Now charging to the line. Is this going to be another fastest lap? There it is, a 1:13.666. Absolutely blistering lap. And in front of him there you can see the cars he's chasing down. Big Popper taps the back end of Widdowmaker. That frustration boiling over because he's been parked in front of him all the way. But JB takes the advantage, comes at the inside. Widdowmaker sees him, cuts off that line. Big Popper makes his way out, brushes the Arnco and manages to get back with only having lost one place, but momentum's still there. Widdowmaker holds the racing line, coming down to the bus stop in third, down to fourth, coasts across the first and second, back on the gas. Big Popper taking a slightly wider line, but JB's got that lined up now. He's almost bumped the back of Widdowmaker there, but he holds back. He doesn't do it, he just holds off that back corner, and he's now got the line. He's got the time to make, he's got the pace. He's in position to make this pass now. Widdowmaker's just got the car ahead, he's got him. JB backs out of it, knows better of it. There's only one line through that corner really, or the second one, which takes your penalties. But they're bunching up again, so all that's happened through that one lap is Widdowmaker's managing to hold that position, but JB's capitalised coming out across the start-finish stripe. It looks like JB's going to pick this up, definitely. He's in the position to take the pass, but Widdowmaker holds it out, brakes late, cuts across the front. And it's still there, it's all happening. This is a fraught fight for third place. The only thing he's doing is slowing down, and BB is now caught up with the fight. He's almost there with the pack. We're on lap 30 and these guys are pushing. What have we got? We've got JB, who last pitted on lap 16, so he's due, lap 18, so he's due for a set of tyre change. Widdowmaker changed on 15. Big Popper stopped on lap 16. So the three of them there are all due a tyre change. JB runs wide, Widdowmaker still manages to keep ahead, and he's starting to pull away. He's opened up a gap. That slower pace by Widdowmaker must certainly have given him more grip on the tyres, getting them to last longer. JB's got it lined up, he's got the overrun though. Is he going to get him on the inside? No, he pulls it back. Oh, it's frantic stuff. Nobody attracts a penalty. JB looks to dive up the inside, but Widdowmaker cuts him off again. Big Popper just taps JB's back end. All three of them go to the pits on lap 30. That allows BB go through and take third place. Big Marsh back up to fourth. And Big Marsh picks up another penalty, 3.5 seconds. Just what you don't need on lap 30. So, this is a pit stop race. Widdowmaker fueling up. He was on hards. JB was on mediums. Big Popper on mediums. They're all coming out of the pits together. What's the conundrum going to be? We don't know what the output's going to look like at this point. So Widdowmaker takes mediums, Big Popper back on mediums. I didn't see what JB went to. JB went to mediums again. Oh. So JB managed to leapfrog Widdowmaker. Az has passed them all now. Az has passed both Big Popper and Widdowmaker. Oh, it's all happening here, folks. This mid-pack battle is tremendous. So JB's got around about a 15th car length gap by carrying more fuel from that earlier pit stop. Az is really back into this race now, having only stopped Let's see, what has he done? Where's Az? He stopped on lap 20 and lap 26. So he's gone hard, softs and mediums he's on now. So all three cars you're looking at on medium tyres, and Az just he seems to be pulling out the gap. We flip back to the head of the race. We realise there is actually a race going on at the front of the pack. NW in first place on lap 32. Look back, and as we see Roger coming onto the back straight there, so there's at least quarter of a mile between the two, but the difference is a pit stop, we think, at this point, having looked at the list. NW makes a late decision as we're looking down at the list to see what his pit stop strategy was. Pitting on lap 33, he, as we predicted, he would be around about that time, so he's going to take one more set of tyres to finish the race. That means Roger is going to require another pit stop by the looks of it. Let's look at the notes. He does actually need another set, so Roger's gone hards, mediums, mediums. He has to take soft, so he's got to stop one more time. So this isn't over, folks. This is still a race to the end. BB dives in on a set of softs. Big Marsh goes through, straight back up to second place. So this battle for the front still isn't over. This is a race, this is a battle of two halves. We've got the front four battling, we've got the last four battling. It's a really good balance of skills, this. You've got two groups, one faster group of racers, one slower. They're not slower though, they're just not as quick, and they probably serve more penalties, to be honest. Roger, I think, has been, and I'm going to double check this, I don't think Roger has actually had a penalty. That's been the difference. I think he's been clean. I think he has actually been clean. Looking down my list, I can't see a single penalty against him. NW, again, 100% clean. It's just a difference in strategy. It looks like NW's running hard to get it to the end, isn't he? That's what he's just changed. So the difference is NW's running two sets of hards and Roger's running two sets of mediums. We'll have to see who's quicker as we focus on JB in fourth place. Comes round to the final corner just to complete the lap. Chasing hard behind is Big Popper. We're going to see the gap now. And we go back to a replay. We're going to pick up on an overtake. What we saw last was Widdowmaker was in front of Big Popper. We can see Big Popper making the pass around the outside, and after probably 15 laps of being behind Widdowmaker, he actually made the clean pass, got it through the bus stop there. Still got the indicator on, but he's actually done it at this point in the race. He's actually made it, and now should be able to run for it. As we flick back to JB at the front, that was probably lap 32, that overtake. So flicking back to the front, Roger in first place now, just starting to catch up on Az in last place, who just through the pit stop rotation has just started to drop back now. Those early laps now suffering because of the slow speed on those hards to take it to lap 20. I wonder if he'd choose to do maybe 17 or 16 laps on those tyres instead, just before they eroded away. But he's taking the blue flags now. Roger looks like he's gone, well, he hasn't, he's kept it right. As we flick back round, there was Big Marsh coming round. No more penalties for Big Marsh, it looks like. NW coming round in third place just to finish the lap off. Back to JB in fourth. Big Popper in fifth. Widdowmaker in sixth. You know, folks, it looks like this battle's hotting up again. These three are starting to come together. They're all on medium tyres at this point. All in the same shot. with BB in 7th place, uncharacteristically low in the field for BB, but he had suffered, just like Marsh, a massive amount of penalties. Not through any fault of their own. I don't think it's been a process where they've got the penalties for making, they are genuine mistakes, but I don't think it's unplanned mistakes. It's sorts of, they're not running wide deliberately and being caught out. It's just been a series of events. So if you add up all the penalties and take off the time, you could probably gain a place. BB is ultimately the quickest car on the track with the fastest lap of the race of 1:13.666. As we flick back to Widdowmaker in 6th place on lap 35. Roger's still out there in front in the lead in 1st, Big Marsh in 2nd, NW in 3rd as JB picks up a penalty as we goes round the corner. Just a half-second lift penalty, but that should give enough momentum for Widdowmaker to get the draft and slip past. Widdowmaker just manages to cut the apex on that corner just that bit more and close up on JB, who must now be feeling despondent. You know it does, it takes the edge off it. As you pick up the penalty, you know you've got 3/4 of a lap to run with the penalty. You know the guy behind is lining you up just for that bus stop. Come through the bus stop together, get round the big bend and go past on the penalty line. And that's exactly what Widdowmaker's lining up to do here. He just backed off a little bit, gets the run, looking to get the draft just perfectly right as he comes off the corner. Runs a slightly tighter line to JB, and JB looks like he's pulled away, but he's got the countdown timer on now. He pulls over to the right, Widdowmaker gets in, and he's alongside and ahead. It's just enough that half-second to allow that pass. So lap 36, Widdowmaker's back up to 5th place. Hasn't made that many overtakes in fairness. He's still lost a place and potentially should be swapping with JB before the end of the race to make up for the issue at the start. But that's between them, I'm sure he'll make up to it. Widdowmaker should have actually started the race a place behind JB, but I think there was some confusion over who was starting where. So back to the front of the race, Roger in 1st, he's now made his way past As gives him a tap as Roger pulls into the pits. He's on a set of medium, so this is lap 38. What tyre is he going to go to? If I'm looking down the list, Roger needs to take softs, so he has to go to softs. Will Big Marsh be able to run past him and take the lead of the race again? Roger's starting to head out. We can see Big Marsh has taken to the pit lane as well. He didn't actually fly down and take the pole. It's NW who's going to come down the outside. There he is, MW looking to take up 1st place, and he does it. He pushes to the lead. NW doesn't have to pit. He's made all his tyre changes. There's approximately 7 laps to go. That'll take him to lap 45. But Roger's on a brand new set of softs. Is there enough time for Roger to close that gap down? Can NW stretch those hard tyres that he's gone on now? Let's just double check that they are the hards. They are the hards. He pitted on lap 33, so there's a set of tyres that have got 5 laps on them. Let's see if he can push those tyres all the way to the end. All it is potentially, it is actually ultimately Rogers ran 2 sets of mediums, whereas Neil NW ran 2 sets of hards. You can physically see the 458 catching the Cold Trickle tribute car. NW's putting in consistent 115s. There it is, another 115 452. So we've come round onto lap 39. Just take a moment to listen to that engine. Of both cars. Big Popper's gone to the pits on his set of softs. Let's have a look at what notes we've got on Popper's tyres. He's took hard, mediums, softs. Now he looks like he's going on to a set of mediums potentially. He's only got 6 or 7 laps to do. He could actually do that on a set of softs. If he feels he could push it to try and guarantee him a place, but Az just comes through and overtakes him now. Does Az need to stop again? He stopped on lap 33 last in a set of mediums. It looks like he could push that all the way to the end, 13 laps. But there's the battle. Roger now overtaking NW for the lead. As we were looking at tyre stops. But that was it. That's the difference. As we now flick down the pack. So my apologies to Roger there. That was me distracted by pit stops and tyre strategies, and I've missed to commentate the overtake. But there it was done. It was a pass on the track that resulted in the first place for Roger. All he's got to do now is hold it and get together and get it to the end. As we just look at the battle for third, and they're all there, third, fourth and fifth. Big Marsh again picks up another penalty. Oh, he must be kicking himself. Such a frustration. BB now pushes in for this battle. The only person missing from this is Big Popper, but he's already pit stopped. So with that being the case, who needs to pit out of this gaggle? JB needs to pit. Widdowmaker needs to pit. BB has already pitted. BB's on his last stop now, and he's already done the stop. And there goes Big Marsh, having made the overtake on Widdowmaker, but having to give it up with the penalty as BB comes past. Just saw a fleeting glance of Az back there with Big Popper coming through, and we flick back to them. As JB and Widdowmaker go to the pits, JB in first. Widdowmaker's got less fuel. This is going to be a race to the pits. It's a replica of what happened back on lap 30. They're running the same strategy, but are they going to have the same sort of tyres? JB went on a set of mediums, Widdowmaker went on a set of mediums. What are they going to pick? Az has pulled in for a set of mediums, on a set of mediums. JB goes to softs, Widdowmaker goes to softs, so they're both on softs for this last stint. Both got 7 laps to do, 6 laps to do maybe. It's absolutely perfect for a sprint to the end as Big Popper comes round. He's going to join the battle. So it's still on. BB looks like he's now got third clearly if he's going to run all the way to the end. Az is now coming out, and it just looks like that pit stop strategy let him down. So here's Roger, back to the man at the front. He's pulling away from NW there. It looks like he's got that. Az just comes out, hopefully not to frustrate the battle. It's going to allow Neil to push on and catch up to Roger, just to apply pressure for the last 4 or 5 laps. That actually live there was the battle for third place. Big Marsh has made his way past BB. This is the battle for 5th place. JB looks if he can keep that big tank ahead of the Widdowmaker. He's got 5th place sewn up. Beautifully round that corner. Nice and quick, keeping Widdowmaker honest. What looked like a battle at the front and a battle at the mid-pack is actually turning into 3 battles. Roger and NW, Big Marsh and BB, Widdowmaker and JB. Can Big Popper get himself into this battle? JB just run a touch wide there. Widdowmaker now catching up onto his back door as Widdowmaker, we've seen this before early in the race. Is this an opportunity for Widdowmaker to make that pass back? It doesn't look like it. That cat is very fast in a straight line. And as we know, Widdowmaker runs traction control, so he's never going to have the acceleration out of a corner, which will hinder him at the end of the straight for any passing manoeuvre. Widdowmaker almost runs too wide there and picks up a penalty. On to lap 43. Let's have a quick review of the positions. Roger in first, NW in second, Big Marsh in third as we're looking at... Oh, you could see Big Popper go really, really wide. Az has picked up a 2-second penalty, and Big Popper's going to pick up what looks like 3... Oh no! Big Popper's got 2-second penalty, and Az has increased to 3.5 as Widdowmaker now looks to make a pass on JB. JB's got that line covered. There's no way Widdowmaker's going to even attempt to make that pass. JB runs a bit wide, manages it to cut it back in. Widdowmaker takes the final line again. He's in a perfect position to make a pass here. No indication that Widdowmaker's going to bump his way past at all. It wants to be clean, and it looks like he's got the run. If any corner where traction control is not going to make a hindrance, it's that one, because you're automatically on the power coming out that corner. And JB runs it wide. Widdowmaker manages to hold it. Does JB pick up a penalty? We don't see it. We clipped over to BB and Big Marsh. We flip back to NW, still chasing Roger down, but Roger's definitely increased that gap. We can see the two guys there, Big Popper and Az, accumulating penalties. But has JB has got a penalty there, look. Widdowmaker makes his way past through that mistake through turn 1 by JB. But he's going to try and hold him out there, but Widdowmaker's got it now. He's got that pass. So, can Widdowmaker hold him off? He knows that JB's got a 1-second penalty though, so he can come through here, through the apex, clip them up, get it round this final corner, drive away, and he's going to pull out a 2-3 second gap, and then he's just got to complete maybe 2-3 laps. There's 57.5 minutes gone in the race. There we go, JB's penalty spent. You can see Widdowmaker driving away from there, probably 15 car back as we flick back to Big Popper and Az. Both are getting blue flags now because they're in the way of NW. Roger's already made his way past. Now here's the thing, folks, to get an understanding of. With all the pit stops and shenanigans, that's the first lapping of the race, official lapping. BB's picked up a 1.5 second penalty. Widdowmaker's just pulled out a gap now on JB. He's maintained that gap that's there from the penalty. Big Popper comes round on lap 44. Az there with another penalty picked up. Oh, they're coming thick and fast at the end, aren't they? Yeah, that's just the difference. NW looks like he's backed out of it now. Not looking to get in between the battle between Az and Big Popper, because that is a race for place. NW's sort of settled on the fact that he's going to be running for second place. His hard tyres not able to keep up with Roger on the softs. BB picks up another penalty. But this is the battle, the closest battle for any change in place at this point. Widdowmaker and JB both running softs. Big Popper comes round being chased by Az, but again Az has got a penalty. That'll take the wind out of his sails, knowing he's got to serve that. Roger coming round on lap 46. .59 seconds and 20 seconds done. He'll be able to go on to lap 47. And if anybody else comes past that lap before the time ticks on, they'll be on for it. Is Roger in a fuel save mode now? One would expect him to be definitely on a tyre save mode. Big Marsh comes round the final corner. Is he going to make it back to the line to make it before the cut-off? Here comes BB to spend that penalty. Too many penalties to count and mention. Widdowmaker and JB running through in 5th and 6th place. It looks like this will be the final round for them. Big Popper's made it through before the final lap. So as they cross the line, Big Marsh takes the finish line for the first time. He's 3rd. BB comes round in 4th. He'll pick up the finish because that 1 hour timer has finished. They will be classed as 1 lap down, even though they technically weren't. Widdowmaker and JB. Widdowmaker, he looks to black off JB by moving over to the pit wall and closes out the race. JB in 6th. Great race by those two. Roger in 1st place coming round now. He's going to come and take the checkered flag to win it. Unless something were to happen in the last 2 corners. Tremendous victory. A good hard race from the start. He made his way through the pack. A little bit of a bump and grind at certain points, but he got there as he comes through to take the final flag. And the 1st place finish of 15 points. Just need to see who's going to win the battle now between Big Popper and Az. Big Popper's going to win it. He comes through in 7th. A stunning qualifying led to a race that didn't realise its potential, I think you could say. And here's Az and NW coming through to finish together in 2nd and 8th places. And there's the final finishing spots. BB with the fastest lap of 1:13.666. Just to clarify, Roger in 1st place with the fastest lap of 1:14.167, not dipping into the 13s. NW in 2nd, Big Marsh in 3rd, BB in 4th, Widdowmaker 5th, JB 6th, Big Popper in 7th, and Az in 8th place in that little Cayman. A great little effort there by Az, running the lead, running out front for 4 or 5 laps at the start of the race. The current standings then, who finishes first? NW finishes this round in 1st place with 19 points, BB in 2nd with 17, Roger finishes in 3rd with 16, Big Popper in 4th, Big Marsh in 5, Widdowmaker in 6th, JB in 7th, etc. And to finish the standings for week 3, NW leads the pack. He unfortunately goes on holiday. BB 2nd, Roger 3rd, Big Marsh 4th, Widdowmaker 5th, Big Popper 6th, JB 7th, Deadly in 8th, Az in 9th and Winner 10th. And all that leads to say, folks, is that's been a long video, but thank you for being with us. We'll see you next week when we go to Red Bull Ring for round 4. And as always, a big special mention to our channel members. Thank you very much for the support. We can't do this without you, so thank you very much, folks. It's really appreciated what you give to the channel. And we'll see you on the next one, folks. All the best. Take care. Thank you.